this could literally happen.
Yeah, exactly. Hello there, folks. I'm Dan Brown, and joining me today is
John O'Griffiths.
And you're listening to The Sort of Interesting Show. So then, what have I been up to an awful lot recently, Jono?
Well, you've been outside, stood on the top of a hill, suspiciously staring at stuff with binoculars.
That is absolutely true. And before you think any terrible thoughts, I have, of course, been participating in a little bit of astronomy. To start with, I think that it would be a worthwhile thing to explain how I first got into astronomy. And as luck would have it, Jono, you were right there at the very beginning on that fateful Christmas Day 2010. I'd been bought a telescope for Christmas. So me and good old Jono here and another one of the jovial cohorts thought, let's have ourselves a look out at the night sky. So it was all the lovely Christmas scenes, snow on the ground and all that sort of good stuff. And we went up a little hill in the local area. And, I'll let you take it from here, Jono.
Well, approximately, I don't know, is it, say, 10, 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
We decided to go for a walk to try and look at the moon. So we drove up to the bottom of this hill and then we painstakingly trudged up the still in almost knee-deep snow. It was so cold. Just to put the telescope on a fence post at the top. And then Dan had a bit of a fail.
Here's the thing that you may not know of some of the reflector telescopes. When you look through them, everything you see is upside down and back to front. So as this was literally the first time the telescope had been used, we didn't quite have the skills to line it up with even an object as big as the moon. So we're there trying to balance this telescope on the fence post, woefully inaccurately scanning the sky looking for the moon, and then every now and then you would have, look, there's a flash of the moon, but then it's gone. And so you try and line it up again until finally Jono, being the great hero that he is, managed to line up the moon in this telescope. But unfortunately, I was just a little bit too short to be able to look through the viewfinder. So I tried to jump up onto this fence and balance. In the process, I kneed the telescope off the fence post into a field, and obviously there's snow on the ground, so the entire tube becomes completely covered and filled with snow. The eyepiece flies out, and this is once again just a little tiny tube, probably about 2 inches big, gets completely covered and filled with snow again. And so on that fateful Christmas day, there's a lot of sulking going on in the Dan Brown camp, and we trudged back to the house. And
strangely enough, the best view of the moon we actually had in the end was of the telescope placed on your windowsill, staring through the window.
Indeed, after all that adventure, if we'd have literally just
walked
moved
up the stairs instead of a hill.
So anyway, it was from that moment really that we first saw the moon at something about 75 times magnification, and it's just unbelievable to see all the craters and just the way that the shadows are cast as the moon waxes and wanes. It is unbelievable, and from that moment on I was absolutely hooked. And since then, over these last 9-10 months, I must have spent hundreds of hours out at night, and it's just proven to be an absolutely fascinating hobby.
Right, quick fact about the moon. No matter where you are on Earth, you can only ever see one side of the moon. This is because the moon's day lasts approximately the same time it takes to orbit the Earth, so you can only ever see the one side.
So there you have it. This is an educational podcast as well as a great thing to listen to, so tell all your friends. So why is astronomy so fascinating? Well, I've just told you about the incredible view that the moon is through a telescope, but here's something that I've always been amazed at over these last few months. Just with the naked eye, I can head out and look at the stars, and any one of those little points of light could be millions upon millions of miles away. So for all we know, those stars could have died out and not exist.
Yeah, they could already not be there just because of the sheer amount of time it takes light to get to Earth. So you could be looking at 50 stars in the sky, but only 20 of them could actually be still there.
It is just an incredible thought. A very humbling one as well. One of the most incredible things that I think demonstrates the vast scale of space and what is out there is the Andromeda Galaxy. I've had a look at it through various telescopes and binoculars, and it only ever really looks like a small smudge of light in the viewfinder. But that smudge of light, no matter how seemingly small and negligible it is actually the light of what's believed to be up to 1 trillion stars. And they're that far away, they're 2.5 million light years away. So when you're looking at that light, which you can even see with the naked eye on a very clear night, you're literally seeing something how it looked 2.5 million years ago. And that I just find just incomprehensibly awesome. And something I do find quite a terrifying thing as well, which certainly puts all of life and what's important in perspective, is in 4.5 billion years, 1 trillion star galaxy that is Andromeda is expected to collide with our own entire Milky Way galaxy. Yeah. Now, 4.5 billion years, I don't think we're going to be around to see it, but, well, how incredible to have trillions of stars colliding.
One of the things I've been fascinated by is how much you can actually see with the naked eye.
Yeah, so something that you thought was particularly fascinating was the edge of the galaxy. That from all the stars that are spiraling out sideways in the Milky Way, you can actually see the cloud of light. And as you've said, it is almost as if there's a bit of cloud covering, but it's actually just the light of billions upon billions of stars lighting up the night sky.
I was actually amazed to discover that you didn't need any fancy equipment to get into astronomy.
I know, well, that's one of the things I always thought, that you see these astronomers and these massive telescopes such as George Bank, and you think, God, astronomy, you'll never be able to do that sort of thing. And then, it's like I say, I had this telescope bought for me at Christmas, and it's a nice, cheap beginner's model. I think it's currently on Amazon for around £30 or £40. Since then, I've really got into it and bought myself a good pair of binoculars and got myself a nice little telescope. But I'm currently using a telescope that costs around £60 brand new. And I've got to say, considering the vast expense that I always imagined, like, you would have to spend £1,000 plus on a huge telescope to look at the sky. It is just fascinating. Well, this £60 telescope the other night, just through my bedroom window, without travelling, I pointed at Jupiter. Not only saw Jupiter and the 4 big moons, but also saw the lines of cloud in the atmosphere of the planet. And it's just something like that that's from a £60 telescope I just cannot believe.
If you need a review of this telescope, you can find one on sortofinteresting.com.
Excellent plug there, Jono. Good to see you keeping the company values at heart. Yes, in all seriousness, you can check out sortofinteresting.com for all sorts of random talk on astronomy, because as you might have noticed, I've been dominating this podcast a lot, as I just absolutely love it.
There's all sorts of free applications as well out there that can help you find what you want in the sky. If you've got an Android-based phone, you can download Google Sky Maps for free. It's basically, you point it at the sky and it knows what you're looking at, so you can find anything you want.
Oh, yes, it's been an invaluable tool for observing the night sky. Because goodness knows, if I'm trying to look around the sky from Andromeda to Cassiopeia and figure out somewhere that's at a triangle to them both, I dread to think what would have happened.
Yeah, and you can also find where out the planets are in their orbit as well, so they're easy to view. One of the most interesting things you can see in the night sky is a shooting star, which by definition is not actually a star at all.
Indeed, they are, and this is another fascinating thing, and once again, something that you don't need any equipment to see. You can just look in the sky and see a shooting star, which, it's amazing. It could be a piece of ice or a piece of metal, just general rock that's from the tail of a comet that could have passed by the Earth hundreds, thousands, goodness knows how many years ago. And as they pass into the atmosphere, they burn up.
There is a relative big amount of luck involved as well, because you have got to be looking at the right place at the right time.
Oh, definitely.
It's not something you can just point at the sky and hope one passes by.
As we discovered on that ill-fated meteor spotting trip, where we were probably out for about an hour, I'd say, and it was only when we were literally heading back to the car that we finally saw one.
We were actually scheduled a meteor shower that evening, weren't we?
Indeed. It is another thing, like I say, you need no equipment to be able to see a meteor. Obviously, some are too faint to see with the naked eye. There are that many passing through the Earth's atmosphere so frequently. If you spend enough time out, you're guaranteed to see some.
The ones that we've seen are total accident. I think the first one was, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. In the week running up to my birthday in April, there was the Lyrid meteor shower. And so I kept going out every day of the week, literally 7 days in a row. Probably spent, I don't know, about 10 hours looking up in the sky. For the first 5 days, I didn't see a single one. Then saw a good few the one night. And then the next night, the day before my birthday, amazingly saw 11 meteors in about 45 minutes. And it is just incredible. I mean, absolute dumb luck that you see them, but when you do, some of them will literally appear as if they're travelling across the whole of the night sky, and it is just an incredible thing. And once again, you don't need any equipment. You can literally just go and lie down and look at the sky.
So, in summary, astronomy is a nice, cheap hobby. You don't even need to go outdoors. You can just place a telescope, binoculars on your windowsill. So, next time you're outside, why not look up?
Excellent. Couldn't have put it better myself. So I think that pretty much sums it up. Yeah, another thing, nice and cheap. In fact, it could be completely free. And like you say, you don't even need to leave the house. Just have a look through your window on a clear night, and maybe you will be awakened to the miracle of the night sky. Woo! And now that we've started to go completely bonkers, I think it's time that we wrap this up. So then, Jono, what website does everybody need to go to right now?
Sortofinteresting.com.
Great. And are you on Twitter?
Yes, I am. If you want to follow me, it's Jono_Griffiths1.
Excellent. And you can also find me at sort_of_Dan. So that's sort of Dan. Hopefully we'll see you around soon, and maybe even spot you up on a hill with a pair of binoculars. Until the next time, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Excellent. Oh, brilliant.
Boom. That's another headshot, that is.